What's up, y'all? You are officially tapped into another episode of Wired to be Rich, where we strip away the fluff, cut through the noise, and speak directly to the part of you that knows you are meant for something way bigger than what you've settled for. Because this isn't about just some day trading or learning a new skill episode. This is about what it really means to believe in something before the results come in. It's about walking into the dark with no flashlight, just faith in how sometimes you have to lose your whole mind to find your real life. So let's get into it.
She's not just a podcast host. She's a movement.
Manda Lea is teaching people how to break cycles and build real wealth, mentally, financially, and spiritually.
People all over the world are waking up to her message.
Wired to be Rich isn't just a podcast. It's a mindset shift.
She makes you believe again in yourself, in your power, and your ability to actually have the life you always known was meant for you.
Hi, everyone. I'm Manda Lea, entrepreneur, speaker, and founder of Balance and Destiny, and this is Wired to be Rich. Let's talk about something that doesn't get discussed enough. Day trading. I mean, you may see it on social media, but we need more context, more people talking about it actually, like what it actually is. And I'm not talking about the hype version you see on social media, like I just said, where people are making $6,000 in 10 to 15 minutes and post a screenshot with zero context. They get on my nerves because I'm talking about the real side of it, the technical skill, the mental discipline, the rules most people don't even know exist until they're already in too deep. First off, here's what you might not have known. In the U.S., if you want to day trade without restrictions, you need to have $25,000 in your account. Now, I'm not sitting here saying that everybody don't have that because I don't know anyone's pockets, but all the people on social media, when they're like, I just got into day trading and I made money every single day this week, I'm like, okay, either you lying or you have money to just spend. Because what I'm talking about is called the pattern day trading PDT rule. And if you're under that amount, you're limited to 3 trades every 5 business days, period. 3 every 5 days. And it doesn't renew it week to week. It goes by 1 day. So for instance, if you put in a trade on Monday, that trade won't fall off until 5 business days later. If you put one on Tuesday, that one won't fall off till 5 business days later. Does that make sense, y'all? I hope so. Okay. And it doesn't matter how smart you are, how good your strategy is, or how ready you feel. The rule is the rule. And it's built to keep people with less capital on the sidelines. So before you even think about diving in, I want you to understand the game you're playing. This isn't just clicking buttons and praying you're lucky. This is about timing, precision, and market psychology. You're analyzing price action, tracking volume, spotting patterns, managing risk, and doing all of that with the pressure of real money on the line. It's not a gamble if you know what you're doing, but you have to know what you're doing. And most people don't. Now, here's where it gets interesting. The barrier to entry isn't just technical, it's psychological. People stop before they start because they think, this isn't for people like me. And that's the lie. That's how systems stay protected. You're not supposed to understand how the market moves. You're supposed to stay confused, independent. But once you realize how accessible the knowledge actually is, everything changes. You start noticing how predictable some of these moves are. You stop chasing trends and start building strategy. You stop saying 1 day and start saying day 1. And no, you don't need $25K to start learning. You can paper trade. I've been doing lots of that, okay? You can study, you can sharpen your edge now so that when your account balance grows, you're not guessing, you're executing. Because truth is, if you wait until the money's there to build the skill, you're already behind. What is that? There was a quote I saw, this man, I don't know his name, but he was like, he was just explaining why Elon Musk is so financially just the bomb, right? And how Elon launched a series of rockets and a lot of them failed, but he kept launching and trying. As far as Boeing, they waited until they got the right one and they were already months, not or even years behind. So that's what I mean by saying you don't have to wait until you have the 25K. Just start, paper trade, and start saving up as you go. Because this is about putting yourself in position before the door opens. It's about seeing trading as a tool, not the whole toolbox. but one that could change the way you approach money forever. And if you understand this game, even just a little bit, you're no longer playing defense, you're learning how to move. So if nobody's ever told you this before, let me be the one to tell you. You can learn this. You should learn this. And you don't have to be rich to get started. You just have to stop assuming this knowledge isn't for you. The information is out there. The power is in the repetition, and the opportunity is yours to decide. One of the biggest things holding people back, not just in trading, but in life also, is the belief that you need to have everything figured out before you start. That's a big lie, y'all. That idea that you can't take a step until the whole blueprint is laid out, it's the exact thing keeping you stuck. People sit on the sidelines for years waiting for clarity, waiting for the right time, waiting until they feel quote unquote ready. But here's the reality. Clarity comes from movement. You don't figure it all out and then begin. You just begin, and that's how it all starts to unfold. Nobody wakes up a master. Nobody sits down on day one knowing exactly how the path will play out. The people who are winning, they're just the ones who started messy, stayed consistent, and learned as they went. That's it. And the crazy part, most of them had no more information or resources than you do right now. They just decided. That's the key, not perfection or precision, and not some magical step-by-step guide, but a decision. When you're stuck in that mindset of, I just need to learn a little more before I act, what you're really doing is protecting yourself from the discomfort of growth. Because growth requires exposure. You have to do it wrong before you learn how to do it right. That's why when I'm trading and I'm losing, paper trading, if I'm losing real money, this is a different conversation. But when I'm losing paper trading, I feel no way about it at all. I actually kind of like it because I'm like, okay, I lost out, but now I know what not to do. Now I know the feeling of what not to do. Now I know how to control my emotions just a little bit more when I'm doing it, so that way I can make a profit the next time. And that is a part of the process. That's how confidence gets built. Not through planning, but through proof. You do the thing, you learn from it, and that builds momentum. And momentum is where the power is. Do y'all want to know what it actually do y'all want to know what actually makes the difference? Because it's not who knows the most. It's who's willing to keep going when things are unclear, when results aren't instant, when no one's clapping yet. It's the people who fall in love with the process, not just the outcome, because the real magic is the becoming. The moment when you've realized you've shifted, grown, or leveled up, not because someone gave you permission, but because you gave it to yourself. So if you're sitting around thinking you need to know exactly how this will work before you move, I want you to stop. That is the mental trap. That's fear trying to disguise itself as logic again. And you don't need to see the whole staircase to take the next step. You just need to start walking and trust the clarity, the rhythm, and the results. They all show up once you do. One of the hardest but most freeing shifts you can make in trading, in business, in love, and in life is learning how to release the outcome. I preach this like it is the Bible. Release the outcome. And I'm not saying stop caring. I'm saying stop trying to control how everything unfolds. Because the truth is, the more you try to grip onto something, the more you start to choke it. The tighter you hold, the more anxious you become. You start trying to predict everything. You overthink. You rehearse conversations that haven't happened yet. You're 3 months into the future mentally and not even present enough to notice how much you've already grown. This idea that we can force outcomes by obsessing over them, that's what burns people out. You can have a goal, you can be disciplined, but trying to micromanage every step of how it's going to get here, that's where we lose peace. Because most of what's meant for you isn't going to show up in the way you pictured it. Sometimes it takes longer. Sometimes it comes through a door you weren't even looking at. Sometimes it looks like a loss at first, and you don't even realize until later that it was an alignment in disguise. So here's the shift. Focus on building the skill, not controlling the results. If you're learning how to trade, don't obsess over hitting $1,000 days right away. Obsess over becoming the type of person who can manage risk, stay calm, and stick to the plan. We are doing this together, y'all. So as I'm talking to you, I'm talking to myself. Like, we are going to do this journey together. And maybe I'll even start doing like a Discord as I get even better at it, but that's in the future. So let's just stick to what we know right now. And if you're working on your business, don't spiral every time the numbers are slow. Show up with the energy of someone who knows momentum compounds over time. I want y'all to remember the word compound, look it up, and get into it. Compound interest compounds over time, y'all. If you're in a relationship, stop trying to manipulate where it's headed and start asking where the connection is actually, or whether the connection is actually healthy, sustainable, and rooted in real intimacy. I am actively working on this myself in my relationships, especially my romantic one. Letting go of the outcome doesn't mean giving up people. It means trusting that what's meant for you will find you, but only if you make space for it. That space comes from not being in constant anxiety over how and when. And I know that's easier said than done, especially when you're ambitious, especially when you've worked so hard. But that's the whole point. When you've done the work, you don't need to panic. You need to just allow it to unfold. What you're building today is stacking interest for your future. Every time you show up, even when you don't see results yet, you're investing in something that's going to pay you back in ways you can't fully see right now. I want y'all to hold on to that, okay? Because that's not blind faith. That's knowing your work has weight, even when it doesn't have witnesses. So stop refreshing the outcome in your mind, okay? Fixating on it, checking for proof. I want you to get back into alignment with the process and let it do what it's supposed to do. Whether it comes down to your career, your relationships, anything. Who cares what the end result is? Trust that the end result is exactly what you want it to be. I want you to just focus on the journey. Enjoy the moment. Enjoy finding out new things, learning new things, seeing new things, feeling new things. Okay? The right things will land when they're meant to, but not if you're busy strangling the timeline. You don't need to control it. You need to trust. And that's where the shift happens, whether you're spiritual, religious, both, or none at all. You have to trust that things are going to be exactly how you need them to be. Things are going to work out for you exactly how you want it to work out. You're going to become exactly who you know you are. So let's stop pretending. Let's stop tiptoeing around what it actually takes to change your life. Do you want to win? Then you're going to have to go full on psychotic about your vision, y'all. I am not joking. When I say psychotic, you got to lose your freaking mind. I'm not talking about journaling and lighting a little candle and softly whispering affirmations in the mirror. No shade. If that works for you, it works for you. But I'm talking about waking up with a fire in your bloodstream and a mission in your chest so loud that anything less than your dream life feels offensive. You have to lose your mind. I mean, completely detonate your current wiring. You have to strip down every quote unquote normal thought you've been taught and rebuild your reality from scratch. You have to become so convicted, so wildly convinced that what you see in your head is more real than what's in front of you, that people start avoiding you because your energy is too intense for their half-assed belief system. And if that's the case, good. Let them walk. Because from a personal standpoint, and I'm saying this for real, anybody that has ever talked negatively about me, said I was weird, all these other things, are nowhere near where I am in life. I want you to look around at the people around you. Who cares if people think you're strange for believing so deeply into yourself? Do what you have to do. Do what you have to do. You think you're going to manifest millions with the same voice in your head that questions whether you're worthy of basic stuff? You think the life of your dreams is coming to someone still cosplaying as their potential? No. You need to become delusional. Delusional. You need to go full main character energy on steroids, y'all. Listen, you need to wake up like I am the chosen one. I am exactly who I think I am and move accordingly. Let me put in real world terms so you can feel this in your body, in case you haven't already. I want you to imagine that you're walking into a pitch meeting, right? Where you look at corporate, buttoned up, got your suit on, whatever you want to wear, conference table, all of that. But this time, you're not going in there hoping they say yes. You're not even going to give them the option to say no. The option of no doesn't even exist, okay? You walk in like they've already cut the check. They booked the launch event and printed the promo banners with your name on it. Walk in there like they already told you, yes, we'll implement your strategy. Here's the money for it. And you're just re-explaining to them exactly what you're going to do. You're telling them what you're going to do. You're not presenting a pitch or anything. You're presenting a prophecy. You're not offering ideas. You're delivering inevitability. Does that make sense? I know y'all can't respond to me, but I hope it does. That's the energy that I'm talking about. That's the level. That's your next level. And that is confidence. It's not cocky. It isn't arrogance. It is literally you knowing in your soul that what you bring to the table is exactly what they need, period. Every time you sit around doubting yourself, second guessing your timing, begging for a sign, the universe is looking at you like, dang, I gave you the vision and you're still hesitating? Absolutely not. That version of you has to go. The shy one, the careful one, the one that waits until everything is perfect, kill it off, okay? With love, but with force. Because the version of you that wins, that version is unrecognizable from who you've been. That version doesn't flinch when people doubt them. That version doesn't wait for things to be quote unquote ready. That version moves like God already signed the contract and the rest of the world is just catching up. Okay? You don't want to be too cocky because there's always room to learn. But y'all, I'm telling you, you have to move with confidence if you really want to get what you want in life. So stop being polite with your potential. Stop negotiating your purpose. Stop explaining your dreams to people who've buried theirs. Stop asking for permission to explode. Because here's the plot twist. You were never meant to blend in. You were meant to set this entire simulation on fire. Your gifts, your voice, your presence, they weren't given to you so you could play it safe. They were given to you to disrupt timelines, to collapse illusions, to shake the system with your audacity to want more. So yes, you're going to have to lose your mind. You're going to have to become obsessed with your future. You're going to have to get loud. You're going to have to walk in rooms like reality belongs to you. And when people call you unhinged, out of pocket, or too much, I want you to look them in the eye, smirk, and say, good, I was never meant to be manageable. Burn the rule book, kill the old identity, and take your power back and make it impossible for the world to forget who you are. Here's what most people don't realize. You're not waiting for your life to begin. You're just waiting for yourself to decide what's already in motion. The moment you say, this is mine, and mean it, the energy around you starts to shift. Not because the universe suddenly wakes up, but because you do. Every time or everyone talks about divine timing like it's something outside of themselves. But the truth is, your timing is determined the second you stop hesitating. The second you stop asking for signs, the second you stop postponing the version of yourself you know you were meant to become. You keep thinking it's about proving yourself to the world, but really it's about proving yourself that you're done living below the standard you feel pulling at you every day. That feeling in your gut, that tension that keeps telling you there's more, that's not arrogant, that's awareness. That's a part of you that's fed up with shrinking, with playing it safe, with pretending you're okay with where you are. And the truth is, that part of you has been right the whole time. There is more. You are capable. You just haven't fully chosen yourself yet. Nobody can take what you've already owned internally. Not your boss, not your partner, not a missed opportunity. The minute you decide it's yours, truly, finally, without all disclaimers, you start creating the conditions for it to show up because you stop flinching. You stop seeking reassurance and validation. You stop apologizing for wanting more. And from that place, you move differently automatically. You speak different. You make decisions that match where you're going, not where you've been. You stop waiting for someone to save you and start building a life that doesn't depend on anyone else's approval. That's what it's all about. Not motivation, not hype, just pure ownership and waking up one day and realizing that nothing changes until you change. That you're the one who decides when it's your time. And that time starts the second you say, I'm done playing. Everything else follows after that. I'm not afraid anymore, not because life got easier or the path got clearer, but because I finally stopped negotiating with myself about what I know I'm here to do. I'm not afraid of failing because failure doesn't threaten me, it informs me. I'm not afraid of starting over because I understand now that nothing truly worth building can be destroyed by a reset. Success isn't a dream to me. It's a structure I'm already living inside of, even if the world hasn't caught up yet. Wealth isn't just a fantasy for me either. It's the outcome of decisions I've already been making. This isn't about hoping something works out anymore. This is about honoring what's already been set in motion. Every move I make is deliberate. Every sacrifice has context. Every late night, every early morning, every hard choice, they all hold weight now because I finally understand that showing up with consistency, with clarity, and with precision, is the win. The results are just the residue. I no longer second guess myself. I no longer need reassurance to feel right. I no longer ask if I'm on the right path because I know that I am. Let's go ahead and put a little quick stop to it and say to you all, if this episode woke up something in you, good. That's exactly what it was designed to do. Don't just listen. I want you to move with this energy. Take what you heard today and apply it like your future depends on it. Because like I always say, it honestly does. You're not here to keep playing small. You're here to become undeniable. And I will keep telling y'all that every single episode because I want you to really understand just how powerful and great and magnificent you are. You can do anything you want to do, period. I'm not just saying that like some cute little mom. I'm literally telling y'all you can literally do whatever you want to do. If you're ready to build with intention and power, I want you to also go over to my website, www.balancedestiny.com. And I've linked it in the show notes below. And that's where the real elevation happens. Whether you need clarity, positioning, strategy, or just the right push at the right time, I built that space for people who are done settling and ready to lead. And if this podcast hits you in your chest, don't keep it to yourself, y'all. Don't be stingy. Share it. Post it. Talk about it. Leave a review. Send it to your family and friends. Let them know where you are in life right now and how you want them to elevate with you. I want you to engage because I'm not just building content. I'm building a movement here. And if you're a part of it, I want you to act like it. You were wired for more. You were built to win. Now move like it. I will see y'all in the next episode. Happy Tuesday. Bye.